I'm Addison Smith with Campus Reform. President Biden just extended the eviction moratorium after the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional. We're going to be going around and getting students' reactions to this. How would they feel if they were a property owner and the government was forcing them to pay rent for their tenants? Let's find out. What is your current living situation? Do you have roommates?
I have one roommate.
Yes.
Yeah. I live with my parents.
I live with two other guys.
Same thing, but 3 other girls.
We all kind of live together.
There's been a lot of talk in the news lately about the eviction moratorium. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
No.
Yes.
I've seen my friends campaigning for it, but I don't know exactly what it's about.
What the eviction moratorium is, it was instituted during COVID. It said that property owners aren't allowed to evict tenants from their property, whether or not they're paying rent. What's your initial reaction to that?
I don't see a problem with it, but I can see how other people might.
Do you think there's a problem in the sense that private property owners are being told who's allowed or not allowed to live on their property? They basically have lost all power.
Oh, yeah. That might be a problem, yeah.
It kind of makes sense, you know.
Well, why does that make sense to you?
I don't know, because there's a lot going on because of COVID. For a lot of people, like if they have COVID, they can't really go to work, or they may not have like a stable source of income. It would be maybe unfair if that were to get in the way of their living situation.
Do you think it's unfair to a property owner to tell them that who's allowed or not allowed to live on their property and make them pay for it?
Yeah, that's also unfair.
That's a kind thing to do. It's very empathetic and understanding. I'm sure the property owners are probably wondering who's taking care of them.
I mean, it seems like a good thing.
I don't think it's fair to the property owner that they have to take on more just because they're unable to pay.
People don't deserve to be thrown out of their homes, especially in a time like this, but ever, really, arguably.
The basic moral thing, and also just right now it's so hard to be able to make the amount of money that you would need to support yourself normally. I think there should be some forgiveness.
The moratorium recently expired, but President Biden reinstated it. The Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional. You have people saying it's an infringement on private property rights, but he did that anyways. So do you think that that's a legitimate concern?
Yeah, I definitely think it's illegal just because, like you were saying, it's the property owners are people too, and they have lives and they have bills to pay, and it's not fair to them.
I'll be honest, I haven't done enough research on it, so I'm just going based off what I think is morally right.
I'm always in favor of the government doing something to help people, regardless if it's pushing a boundary that hasn't been pushed before. Quite frankly, I don't care as long as people are being helped.
As far as the moral dilemma goes, do you think there might be a moral dilemma with making people pay, for other people to stay on their property?
I do think that I understand why that's an issue, but I think that is where the government should be stepping in, and that's where any relief plan or any relief package that is passed by the government, I think should be going to support that, because I also don't think it's right that landlords have to pay out of their own pocket.
If their government's going to step in and say that, then they also have to provide the homeowners with the money to make up for it, or it starts becoming kind of tyrannical. But it could definitely be an infringement on rights. I don't know exactly what rights it would be, but it seems like it could run into some issues.
If you were a property owner and you were told by the government that you can't kick out your tenant, they haven't paid rent in a year, not one payment, so now you're having to pay their rent while they live on your property and, the rent or the mortgage that you're already paying to live where you live, how would you feel about that?
I would be upset. I would be pissed. I would be very pissed.
I mean, I would be upset.
I'd be irritated. Yeah.
Oh, I feel terrible.
I could sit down and have a serious conversation and figure it out, and maybe I could spot them if I had it, but if I couldn't, I don't know what I would do.
I would say there should be some type of service going to those property owners to help out, because they are, I would be upset if that happened.
A lot of property owners, they're not a lot of rich real estate tycoons. A lot of them are middle class people, so now they're having to pay mortgages on their homes on top of paying for someone else to live in their house.
Yeah, that's the other side of it. I feel bad, of course, but it's a lose-lose situation, I guess.
Personally, it doesn't really affect me, but I feel like it could affect the people around me. So yeah.
And how would you feel, with your living situation if your roommate decided they weren't going to pay rent anymore, you had to pick up the tab?
I mean, I would feel pretty, bummed out.
Bummed out? Bank account might be hurting a little bit too.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Hi, I'm Ophelia Jacobson with Campus Reform. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I can guarantee you're going to like our other videos on our YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe here so you never miss out on our content. And if you're interested in helping us expose more liberal bias on college campuses across the nation, you can donate here.